Hey guys, what's up? Puppy Kicker here. New day. Gonna work on this racing mower some more. Today we're gonna try to get the ride height of the rear end, try to get that mounted, and we're gonna try to finish up his front axle because I don't know how wide I want the front axle to be until I get this rear end in here and see, roughly how wide the tires are gonna be. And but yeah. Well, first we're going to get some shout outs to the new people, new subscribers. I thank every one of y'all for subscribing. And if you don't know yet, you need to go to sulphurcitydesign.com to get your stickers and your off-road needs. The man does a really great job. I do have a surprise coming up for y'all here in the near future. But I do have stickers over there. You can get that one. We're going to revamp the sticker that I have though. We're trying to work on a design. You can also go get Murray. I believe Murray Mayhem sells his own. Yeah, he does. Murray Mayhem. The newest member also, Doc Sprocket. Great guy too. Go over there and get your stuff. You can buy hoodies, t-shirts. I think he sells hats. But for me, I've only got stickers right now. I don't want to make any t-shirts or anything right now until we redesign this sticker for me. So yeah, without further ado, here's some shout outs to the new people. God bless you. Alright guys, got a couple of tires on there. That's what size tires I'm going to use. They are Carlisle 16 by 6.50 by 8-inch rim. I like how it swells out just a tad on that rim. I do have a tube inside of it, but I've got to order another rim for that side because these are actually the rims off of the go-kart build. These are the stock rims that was on it, and one of them was seized on there. We had to end up taking a cutting torch and grinder and get it off. But this is just for mock-up. We're going to take these axle hangers. We're going to flip them upside down. That's Matt Witherill. I think that's his last name. I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong, but y'all should go check him out. Dude's got a bad John Deere four-wheel drive. But anyhow, we're going to take these axle mounts. We're going to flip them upside down and try to get them lined up to where we need them so we can bolt this thing down. And then we'll figure out roughly how high this frame is going to be. I know I'm going to have to come back here and I'm going to have to trim that bottom plate right there off. And then the front plate also, where the axle used to be, if you can see how low that goes, I got to trim that too. I think I'm going to have to trim it, straight around. That'll be where my front axle gets welded to. Alright guys, here's what we got. I've got this all mocked up right now. I've got this thing sitting up here. It's all level. I took my level and leveled the frame out. Leveled the rear end. Got the same measurements for the training mounts. So I think what we're fixing to do, we're going to weld these training mounts in. I'll put a little bit down through here, and I'll come over here and weld some down through here. But that's how it's going to sit. Right now I've got it flipped. The transmission's actually right side up, but the frame is upside down. When I get done, I'll flip it all back over, and that's how everything will ride. Alright guys, this is just a rough setup of how the stance is going to be, kinda. I've still got to lower that front end just a tad and take off that back pan off of the rear. I've measured in between there for my axle beam from there all the way down to there. I've got to cut it at 17.5 center line. That means if you got a 2-inch mark or a 2-inch beam, your middle is right there at 1 inch. Alright, you mark in the middle of that and you cut it you mark, go to the middle of your beam, mark it, and then measure down. What I need is 17 inches down to this end. So I go to the middle of this one, the beam down here, mark it 17, and that's where I'll cut my angle at. So let me get this angle cut. It's a 10-degree angle, and then we'll come back. Alright guys, I've got mine cut, and this is how I'm going to do mine. So I can get the front wheel or the frame as low as I can. I'm bringing my spindle or the beam down to the bottom of my spindles, my spindle holders, and that's where I'm going to weld it. And then later on, when I get everything done, I'm going to take and I'll weld gusset from here to here on both of them. I just got it sitting on the floor right now, but I'm going to weld it in the middle. This is 1.5 inches, so I'll mark 3/4 right here. And I'll come over here and I'll mark 3/4 right here. And I'll do the same thing. And then I'll find the center of this, and I'll mark it in the center of the other side, and I'll have my lines. That way it'll be all square and straight. So let me do that, and then we'll do this. We'll get some welding. Alright guys, there you go. First front axle I've ever built. And I must say, it was easier than I thought. As you can see, I've got her all welded up. I'm pretty confident they'll weld to hold it. I don't see why it won't go anywhere. Now, the trick is, if you notice, I've not got my steering arms on there yet. That's going to connect to my steering. What I'll do, this will be welded straight up, and actually I did make a small goof up, but oh well. Let me go ahead and tell y'all real quick. You're supposed to turn these back towards the back wheels 10 degrees both sides. I didn't do that, but I can correct that by making my front axle tilt forward 10 degrees, so that's no big deal. But in order to get your steering arms, your Ackerman, what you're going to do is at the center of your rear end, in the middle of it, you'll have something there, and you're going to run it. You're going to run a string from the center of your rear end up to right here to your bolt on both sides. And then what you'll do is, say we're going to pretend that this right here piece is welded onto my spindle right there. Whenever you run that string, if it comes, well, yeah, okay. When you run that string back there, it's going to come at an angle. And wherever that string comes across, that's where you need to drill a hole in your piece of metal here. You'll drill a hole right there in the center where that string comes at, right through here. Alright, the string is actually, it'll come in. Let me turn around here. Alright, your string is actually going to come in at an angle because your rear end is going to be at an angle, the string will. But you can have your arm straight. Where the string comes across at to this point, that is where you need to drill a hole at, right here, wherever. I'll show you later. But that is how you get your Ackerman. Like I said, I'll show you later. Let's finish getting this thing set up. I've got to cut that front end down and cut the rear end down. Alright guys, we got it marked. We got to cut this bottom line here. I misjudged on this top one, but we got to follow this bottom line. And this is what I'm going to use to cut it. It's one of these real thin blades. And guys, trust me, if you can get a face shield or a welding helmet that's got a adjusting on it to where, you know, for the sparks, whatever, grinding mode, use a full face shield if you can, because man, these blades can fly apart and they will do damage. Alright guys, here's what I've done so far. I've got the front end just tacked up there, and if you'll notice, I have that front axle that's kicked back at 10 degrees. I could have welded the axle straight onto the frame, but I messed up and I didn't kick these spindle holders back at 10 degrees, so I just kicked the whole frame back. So what I'm going to do now is, give me just a second, I'll show you here. Alright, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to weld that the whole beam down inside of there. Weld every bit of that. I've tacked this motor plate. I'm going to weld that solid to the frame too. It'll help stiffen up this frame. Also, what I done to counter for the gap that'll be at the bottom where I kicked it out at, I took some of that 1/4 inch cold roll, you'll notice, and I've put it underneath of there. What I'll do is I'll weld that whole lip right there all the way across, and then I'll come underneath there and I'll also weld it right along there too, all the way across, and that'll also help stiffen up the frame too. Alright guys, I got the front end sitting on there, well, welded on there. As you can see, I've got the body sitting on here, and I've got it marked. I'm going to have to trim this because these fender is going to hit this tire, and it's actually got to come down about 2 inches. So let me get this camera set up and we'll trim this right here. Hopefully that'll be good enough. Alright guys, let's cut this thing. Guys, I want to show you here. Use all of that tool, man. See how much blade I got left? That's enough to cut more. Alright guys, I've been at this all day, so I'm going to call it a day. Let me show you what I've gotten done so far. This is just a mock-up of what it looked like. That hood will come up a little bit on the front. Let me take it off of here. Oh, the motor I just got sitting on there too. But you can see that's how low it's going to ride. I've measured it and it's 2.5 inches off the ground. So there should be a little bit of clearance there. The fenders I've trimmed. I had to because you can see how wide it's going to be sitting out. That'll be how wide it sits too. I've got a piece of 1/4 inch flat stock underneath of the fender sitting resting on the tire. What I'm going to do is I'll make me some brackets or a brace probably tomorrow. It'll come up, run underneath the edge of this seat over to here, then come back down here. That way I'll still be able to take this transmission out if I need to. And then that'll be what it rests on. The final height on the wheels and the fender, I'm wanting to be probably about right there. Maybe a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, you know, somewhere. But I think it's starting to shape up and look pretty good. The steering, I'm going to have to build what they call a over-the-top steering. It'll run over the top of the motor, and then it'll come down in front of the motor, and I'll have an arm out here, and it'll control this right here. So my steering arms are going to have to come forward, and then have a rod run into this one with a pitman arm that'll help it turn. But guys, like I said, we're gonna call it a day on this one. God bless each and every one of y'all. Like the video if you like it. Share it. Thumbs up. Have a good one. Don't forget to kick puppets.
Coming straight up out the woods where I love to stay. It's that country white boy that you love to hate. Pushing them 4-wheel drives cause we love some mud. And when we party we ain't stopping till the sun come up.